Hello and welcome to the Bundesliga show. I'm Gav Mack, that's Devo London, and that is Flo Wolfrum. How are you, gentlemen?
Good.
I thought I'll be the proper representation of Bayern Leverkusen now that our resident Leverkusen fan is wearing a Scotland shirt this week. Oh, you're gonna upset so many more people, man. Honestly, England shirt last week, Scotland shirt this week.
Yeah, I don't want the Scots to be jealous, so I decided to wear my Scotland World Cup 86 shirt to this show tonight.
See, that's love.
I'm guessing it'll be Wales next week.
I'm sorry, I don't have any Wales shirts, but I would take an Irish shirt. From Ireland, I would take.
I don't mind the Irish shirt. The Irish shirt actually is quite it resembles the old Germany away shirt, doesn't it? The green.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah.
Happy days. Now you can.
Old German away, maybe slightly a bit more blue.
It's like a bluey green.
Yeah, something like that.
There you go. So you can subscribe to our stuff. TFB Dugout at Top Football, both on social media, all social media, I should say. And then Flo just on Instagram because that's the way he is. Senor_Lobber on. You'll be able to find him and all his things and bobs and bits and bobs like that. So where do we start? Let's start with Bayern because you know there's more to the Bundesliga than Bayern. We say this every week.
You've waited for this moment.
Here we go. Gladbach, Borussia Mönchengladbach 3, Bayern Munich 2. Good game of football this was. The goals from Hoffenheim. We'll talk about those later on. Hoffmann scored a brace as well as Neuhaus with a very good strike. Lewandowski scored from the spot after Neuhaus gave away a penalty in the initial. We'll talk about that. Let's just go into that because the opening goal came from the spot. Lewandowski scoring his 74th goal of the season in just 5 games. And what was going through Neuhaus's mind giving away a handball, like a penalty with a handball such as that?
I don't know, maybe he wanted to irritate the Bayern Munich players with going with their hand towards the ball, but I still think this shouldn't be a penalty. He, touches the ball with a little line from his, what do you say, to a glove, from his glove. And a bit of wool thread. Yeah, the ball doesn't even change its direction or anything happens. And VAR is looking at it for 2.5 minutes, figuring out whether they should take a penalty or not. I don't know. Simply don't take it. Not a penalty from my point of view. Of course, the hand doesn't belong there, but nothing happened. He didn't really touch the ball.
I think that's the problem. That the rule itself is quite ridiculous. But because that is the rule, it has to be given as a penalty. I don't know why you're looking at it for 2.5 minutes. It's clear that it hit his hand, and his hand was down by his foot. So it had to be a penalty. You don't need to look at that for 2.5 minutes. It's, touch his hand, penalty, done. I have no idea what he was thinking. I don't know if maybe he had a bit of his brain switched off and he was thinking about something else quickly. You think, well, I'll just intercept this. Oh, I might have left the cooker on. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if it's something like that. And he's, he made up for it though, didn't he? So
I have another slight theory. Maybe Gladbach was thinking, okay, in the last 8 games, Bayern always were behind with a goal or 2, and now we switched around. Let Bayern take the lead. They don't know how to handle it, and afterwards we're gonna score the winning goals.
Yeah, fair enough. But then a 2-0 lead, it's a bit hairy, that, isn't it? Because the second goal, I'm really impressed with the way he hit this. Leon Goretzka is really put his foot through this, and great goal. And for me, great player. Yes, he is. For me, that's game over as far as I'm concerned. Even if it wasn't. I don't know, even if it was Leipzig or something they were playing against, or even like whichever big club, as soon as Bayern go 2-0 up, you think that is the end of the game. But it was the Schüler show, and you had a nickname for him, did you not, Flo? Is it Diklas Schüler?
Diklas Schüler, yeah, exactly.
Because
he had an other meaning in English.
Yeah,
It's
because
also funny. Maybe it's also true, I don't know.
yeah, just to explain, dick is fat. It's fat, isn't it, in German? Dick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I know
So
what fat shaming, but taking a look at him, how he's running behind Hoffmann at the 2-2, it's just too funny. It looks like a fat kid running behind an ice cream truck, and realizing, okay, I can't reach it, so I give up, disappointed. That's exactly what Niklas Süle looked like when Hoffmann was running towards Neuer.
well, I was going to say, because it was also his poor awareness and part of the real bad communication on the back line, really, wasn't it? Which allowed Neuhaus to get the equaliser on the stroke of half time. That went to VAR. It took a little bit of time on it, but they came to the right decision. But when I was watching that game live, and I was like, that's on. I think that's on. And when they looked at it, I was like, it was tight, but it was the right decision. But yeah, Neuhaus made up for it, didn't he? With a beautiful strike of his own.
Yep. Yeah. And you know what the thing is, Bayern Munich's defense has been terrible for weeks. But when you have Lewandowski and Muller and Sane and this one and that one, and you're going to score goals up the other end. But I think Neuer saved them a few times over the last few weeks. He couldn't save them today. When was it they played? Was it Sunday?
Was it Friday?
Friday. I'll get.
That's what happens with kids.
Lockdown is every day's the same.
Lockdown and kids, it screws you.
The only way I know what day is what is by what shows I'm doing.
Yeah,
otherwise, I don't know what day it is. So he couldn't save them on Friday. They have been poor defensively for a long time. So now this is just this was coming. Do you know what I mean? This was coming. One team was. I mean, Mainz almost did it. Mainz was very close to doing it, and then Bayern got out of jail in the last 15 minutes in that game. Mönchengladbach saw it out, so fair play, and they deserved it. And
they did deserve it.
Without really any strikers or any real, really deadly forward players, they managed to put 3 past Bayern Munich. So if I was a Bayern Munich fan, I'd be a little bit worried about that defensively, because Mainz aren't the best attacking side. Mönchengladbach haven't got their 2 best attackers, and you've conceded 5 goals in those 2 games. So.
Let's go to the teams that are currently occupying 5th and 6th spot, and that's Union Berlin. Still funny that they're right there. And Wolfsburg. So obviously the only way that game could end is in a draw, as it did. Union Berlin 2, Wolfsburg 2. I did actually quite like this game as well. The goals came from Becker and Ondrik, and then it was Renato Steffen who opened the scoring, which is the funniest thing, because I'm not the tallest guy in the world and I tower over Renato Steffen. And he scored a header.
Good header as well.
Very good header.
Very good header.
How scored a couple of headers already in the Bundesliga.
Yeah. I remember one at the end of last season where it was crossed into the back stick and he headed it across goal. He actually leapt high as Ronaldo. It was quite impressive how he did it. But yeah, it was I quite enjoyed that. Quite enjoyed this game. But Union Berlin scored so many goals in the first 15 minutes, and they should have had another one this time around with Becker.
God. That was one of the worst misses I think I've ever seen. Because it wasn't like it. Sometimes you get these misses where the ball's come across the box and someone's prodded a leg out and it's gone over the bar, it's gone wide because it's an instinctive. He had time, but he had the whole goal at his mercy. He took it.
He even cut inside and took man on.
Cut inside. He could have just rolled that into the net, and somehow he's managed to put it wide at the near post.
His left foot looks like it's only good enough to stand on the ground, but not. Not to play a ball, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if that was my left, it would have probably looked the same. But he's a professional footballer, so he should have done that.
Thing. As I was writing the notes out and stuff for this game, I was like, that's quite an embarrassing miss. And in my head, I was thinking, well, but it might actually be a bit more difficult than you think. Then I thought, no, you are a pro. I expect people down Hackney Marshes to pop that in. So if I expect that, then I expect people to be doing it when they're on X amount of thousands of pounds a week.
And he made up for it again. So that's 2 games running. Someone's made a mistake and made up for it not too long afterwards. So
I didn't actually think about that. I could have thought of a theory behind this and done some beautiful segues. Oh dear, I'll have to think about that a little bit more for next week. But right, so it was one apiece coming up to the break, and then just after half time, Undrick, he scored as well. He made it 2-1 from the spot. It was meant to be from the spot, but it was actually a free kick in the end because Max Arnold is denied obviously his goal scoring opportunity. I believe it's the correct decision. He wasn't making a genuine attempt to get the ball.
I didn't see too much contact there. Maybe I didn't see enough footage of it, but from what I saw, it looked like he didn't really do much. I think now when you're looking at VAR especially, what's happening is referees are looking for any contact and they're deeming it a foul. Whereas before, there would have to be enough contact for someone to go down. Do you know what I mean? So now it seems like when they watch it back on the replay, it's like, yeah, there was contact there. The player went down, so therefore it's enough contact for him. I don't think that's a foul. I just think the guys played for it and got him sent off.
Joseph, what do you think?
I think sometimes only a slight contact is enough, because they have so much pace and so much speed. The players running towards the goal, running across the pitch. Very difficult from my point of view. I'm with Devo that it doesn't look like a foul, but I think it can be given. However, as a defender, what I am, I wouldn't have given the free kick. I don't know. I'm stuck in grammar right now.
Yeah, I just can't see how it's not a foul. And I think VAR did another good thing right. I always have to outline when VAR do something right because I have to be honest, because I hate VAR. I don't think it should ever come into the game anyway. So I do give credit where credit's due. And on the Bayern game, they got it right. So fair play. And on this game, they got it right because it weren't inside the box. It was outside the box. So they gave the free kick. But Undrick was like, 12 yards, 18 yards, it doesn't really matter to me. And just laced it in the top bin, which is really nice. And then there was another penalty that was given for an Ingvartsen handball. I hate these ones that are given.
Yeah,
it is handball, but he doesn't really know much about it. He's turned his back and his arms are outstretched. But that's the sort of action that you do, isn't it? When you turn around, like you go like this, don't you?
That's the problem. The problem is, I was taught as a kid playing that you don't turn your back when someone's shooting. You're supposed to.
It hurts, doesn't it?
It does hurt.
And it's cold.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but you're from the tough South London.
That's it.
You're used to the tough football pitches in South London.
Actually, you know what? Actually, I had one of my early games because I started playing for like the under sevens, and like one of my early games, I got knocked out on the pitch because a kid like blazed the ball into my sternum from like close distance.
Ouch.
And I managed to control the ball and kick it off the pitch. And the next thing I know, I wake up and I'm on the floor. And I had all these people around me. So maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you should turn your back. Maybe you shouldn't.
Maybe it is a good idea to do so. Don't hurt yourself. There's no point of putting yourself through all that drama. That's what I would say. Little one at the bottom of the league. This was quite interesting. Arminia Bielefeld 1, Hertha Berlin 0. And I'll speak about Hertha's away form quite a lot. About it not being very good. Their home form is way better than their away form. You assume that they'll lose a game away from home. But Bielefeld are not a team that tend to pick up many points. They started off the season with a win and a draw, and it's like, oh, hello, new manager bounce and like new welcome to the not new manager bounce, like new promotion bounce, like welcome. No one knows what you're going to expect. But they're pretty crap, aren't they? They're not any good, bless him.
I think that's
fair. So this win's quite big for them. Yabo scoring it, which weren't a bad finish. Defensively pretty poor, but you still got to put it away. And I felt like he dispatched it really nicely.
It was a brilliant finish, and it's a massive 3 points considering what we're going to talk about later. And this season, like out of the bottom three for the first time since first game of the season. So they would want to hopefully pick up some more wins. But that's a massive win against a side that are really struggling as well. They don't look good enough at this level when you really look at the way they play and the chances they create and everything like that. They just look like they're not a Bundesliga level side to me. Whenever I see them, and the only player who stands out for me is the guy on loan, Doan.
Doan, the Japanese guy.
He looks a good player. He looks the only one out of all of them. I mean, Ortega looks good because he's getting peppered and he's making saves. And you always get those goalkeepers. Mignolet's the number one at Sunderland, getting peppered every week, making saves all the time, so he looked decent. But when you actually have to concentrate,
dead bloods, dead.
Yeah. When you actually have to concentrate as a goalkeeper, and you get 2 or 3 shots every game, you get to see how good you are. But other than those two, they're pretty unremarkable. But massive win against Hertha Berlin, and Hertha Berlin they're an odd side. Some very good players, but it just doesn't seem to work for them. I don't know what the problem is.
Flo, what are you saying? What's crap with Bielefeld? They're going straight back down.
Bielefeld, where they're going straight back down. Yeah, I think so. We've seen it very often in the Bundesliga that promoting teams, especially smaller ones, in the last couple of years, we had plenty of them, like Darmstadt, for example, Paderborn.
Darmstadt,
able to secure the league in the first year, but Greuther Fürth, I remember 8 years ago, Eintracht Braunschweig 9 years ago. All these teams, they have their moments, but it's not enough. It's not sufficient for them. So I'm sure that because of the higher individual quality, Köln, Schalke are able to leave Bielefeld behind them. And it's still a long way to go for Arminia Bielefeld. And I still can't imagine them to securing the league until they do, actually.
The path might be bigger because the world fell apart at the weekend with... Sorry, I need a moment. Okay, you can do this. Okay. Schalke 4, Hoffenheim 0. This is not a typo. This is not an error. This is not a fragment of your imagination. Schalke 04 scored 4 goals without reply in a Bundesliga game for the first time in, it was a leap year last year, so 358 days.
Wow.
The first show I'm doing with you with a Schalke win. Don't know how it feels.
Oh my God, yeah.
Quite new, yeah. We haven't
came back.
Schalke win.
You did the show with us for the first, we did the Bundesliga show for the first time, with the first weekend back after the original lockdown and the shutdown of the world because of COVID. So since then, we have never experienced a shout. We don't actually know what to talk about. What do you do?
Hopper had the game of his life.
Oh my God, yeah. Kid's 19. He's 19 years old and he scored a hat-trick. And I don't actually know much about this lad,
as well,
if I'm honest.
Another young American as well.
Another young American
in the Bundesliga. His finishes were brilliant. All 3 finishes were brilliant. His movement was great. I would like to see him carry on like that, or if it's just a one-off and he got a bit lucky. But I think Harit was the main man. I was saying before, the only chance Schalke have this season is keep him fit and get him on form, because he is much, much better than the position that, the club where he's playing at the moment. Harit last season, when he came in from Nantes, I think, was it last season or the season before? I forget. Season before, when he first came in from Nantes, he looked a player. And then he kind of went off the boil a little bit. If they could get him playing well and keep him fit, he will create chances for them. I think he got all 3 assists and the goal.
He did indeed.
Yeah, that's exactly what you need. He stepped up to the plate big time. Can he continue doing that? Who knows?
That is the day that you want.
He has to get his head straight. Harit.
Yeah. I don't know what they're gonna have to, what? They're just gonna have to put him in cotton wool. Like after every training session, just lock him in the house, put him in cotton wool, put him in ice bath, just please stay fit. Don't get injured. Whatever you do, we need you. And that Matthew Hoppe, did you see his interview after the game?
No, I didn't see it.
He looked like he'd just been pulled out of school class to do an interview. He had acne all over his face. He looked like he'd literally just come out of school and play that game. Yeah, I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you watched The Simpsons. It was The Simpsons where Homer starts collecting oil, And he goes into like this restaurant, and his kid's got acne, and he's like, "Oh, you must be worth so much money." That's exactly what it looked like. Exactly what it looked like.
Well, I'll tell you what, because this game as well, like, Kramaric is back as well. He's still like, I think he's still trying to find himself a little bit after COVID. I don't think he's going to be hitting top form for a little while now. But he could have scored, and it was a double save from Fairman. And if it weren't for that, we'd be looking at the usual, and they'll be equal, I believe, with Tasmania at that point.
Equal, yeah.
If they had lost this game, it would have been equal going into the game against Frankfurt at the weekend, which would have been a year to the day. 17th of January was the last time they picked up a victory, and that was against Gladbach, I think it was 2-0 win. So
exactly,
it's an inspired performance from everybody.
The game started like nearly every other Schalke game in the last couple of weeks. Schalke started playing quite good, quite decent, but Hoffenheim became stronger, and Hoffenheim was just not able to score the opening goal. I can imagine if they had scored the opening goal, maybe the whole Schalke building would be falling apart, or would have been falling apart again.
Oh God, yeah.
I think Farman made some really good saves. I think he made some really good saves in this game. But Hoffenheim looked like they were playing a side that they thought they were going to beat easily. They looked like they completely overestimated Schalke, which, fair enough.
Do you blame them?
Yeah, fair enough. But defensively, they were all over the place. And they're in trouble now themselves.
Yes, they are. But what does this mean for Schalke now? It's the off the bottom for the first time since however long. And, they didn't just win. They won convincingly as well. It's the clean sheet. Christian Gross there. They've got Sada Kolasinac, who was there. He's come into sort of like skip of the side. He was a key player for them, which got a lot of people talking around like major European football before he's moved to Arsenal. He's in the team. He's the Bundesliga team of the year at left back as well. So this could be the start of a resurgence, maybe.
The good point, or the advantage of Schalke, is that the whole world around Schalke, all the fans, they can easily be very euphoric. So it's like with big clubs in Germany, it's often the same, that the fans can be very euphoric very fast. And it already started on Saturday evening. I mean, take a look at what Weston McKennie was posting on his Instagram channel, I believe, was singing Schalke songs, Mesut Özil, Sead Kolasinac on Twitter, all that stuff. And all the fans, they were just reposting it. And if they're able to keep this euphoria towards the next games, and the self-confidence built from this euphoria, I'm sure they can be able to collect some points. But they may not forget that the team is still unbalanced and still not good enough. One win doesn't change anything. In Germany, we say like one bird doesn't bring the summer. So if there's only one bird, it's not enough.
I'm not laughing at you, Flo. It's just you always come out with a strong line every week of something, like just some form of, just some saying, some flowism, and it's just always.
I know that you don't know these things because they can't be equally translated in English, but I just love that kind of things, and if they sound funny for you, that's good, as long as you get the meaning.
Right, so I want to know what the situation is with COVID at the moment in Germany. Like we're screwed. They're probably going to cancel football, but we remain optimistic and hopeful that football will not get stopped in this country. But what's the crack in Germany at the moment? Can we see fans back anytime soon? Because I think that's what Schalke need. They need the fans there.
They need them massively. First of all, I can say it's not as bad as in England. Obviously, hearing that in London you have like more than 1,000 per 100,000 a day new COVID cases.
Yeah,
that's massive, unbelievable. I believe Germany would totally explode. The whole media would explode. The government would explode if we had numbers like these. But luckily, we have a very good task force from the German Football Association and from the German Football League. And it's good that you're asking, because today at work we had a meeting organized by the German Football League with all the clubs in the first leagues and the employees who are working with fans, just talking about these questions. And one member of the task force, a doctor from Nuremberg, who was a former nearby a professional footballer, played in the second team for Stuttgart, for example, and then decided, okay, I'm not good enough in football, so I'm just gonna become a doctor. And he's in the task force. And most footballers in Germany are not as bright as this guy was. But he talked to us with the experiences from the task force, and as long as the elderly people, the people who are aged 70 plus, and the disabled people, so like the very risky people, haven't got their vaccine, we can't think about football with fans in the stadium. Right. But it's expected that this is about to happen, or is about to be finished in, April maybe. It depends on how fast we get access to new vaccines, because there's a whole lot of discussion that we don't have enough vaccines in Germany at the moment. But that's because like the producers like BioNTech or Moderna, they can't produce so fast. Everyone in the world wants vaccines, and we're not the only country. So we need to be a little bit more patient. But I can believe if we're lucky, I believe if we're lucky, maybe at the end of the season or towards the end of the season, it could be possible that we have some spectators back in the stadium. And if Germany was able to give a vaccine to all the elderly people, and we don't have that many deaths anymore. Currently, we have 1,000 deaths per day. So if this number decreases to like, 20 or something like this, 25, 50 maybe, as a very low number, then we can think about opening the public, having festivals, maybe having allowing stadium visitations, and this could be in summer, maybe, if everything's good. But at the moment, the situation is still very, very difficult here.
In classic German style, I could just see it happening. You get the vaccine and you just reel out 60, 70 million vaccines in the space of, 5 days. Yeah. It's like, in, out, in, out, in, out. German. Love it.
But
right.
Just a quick one, just to kind of digress, because I thought about it. The Euros are happening this summer, aren't they?
Yeah, I was meant to go to Rome last year.
Yeah, they're still planning to do various different cities. Surely they've got to just say, you know what? Where's the safest?
England, Germany, one of those two. England, because of the stadium and the infrastructure.
It can't be here the way we're dealing with things.
True, but like just getting from town to town. Like you can even do, Group A are all going to be in London. And you're going to play your games at the Emirates, at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, at the Olympic Stadium, and at Wembley. They're the 4 grounds. You are playing all your Group A games in these grounds, or Group B, A and B, and you have to stay in this hotel. You have to transfer. Do you see what I mean? Like that would work. We've got a capital city here with 2 giant stadiums, and then you can have four stadiums, all 60,000. Yeah, 4 stadiums with 60,000 plus fans in each one of them. That's not bad. And then you turn around to Group C and D and say, like, you're playing in the Northwest and you have to travel between Liverpool and Manchester. It's not long. It don't take long. So you can just be like, right, there, Old Trafford, Etihad, Goodison, Anfield. You're not moving from those 2 places.
You know what I mean? Do it in each city. Like, you have Birmingham with Villa Park and Birmingham City Stadium ground. You have Liverpool with Everton. You have City, and you have the Etihad and the Old Trafford. You have in the north, the tiny Weir region that you have.
Yeah, you got Sunderland and Newcastle.
And James Park.
I think it could be done. And I think it should be done. Really do. Let's move on.
In Glasgow, of course, I have to look at my Scots here.
No, we don't want to.
3 big stadiums in Glasgow.
we don't care about them north of the border. And we did actually do a watch along for the old firm. To be fair, so it's not all hate. Oh yes, you did. You got involved, and you could.
It was great. Everyone make sure to watch these watch alongs. They're
you know
lovely.
it. God, I didn't even pay him for the plug.
Yeah, he's
I like
just
it.
so good.
While we're here, make sure you follow the TFB dugout page as well. Just don't, you
Please
know
do.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah, we're on a road to 1,000. We need some subs on the TFB
exactly.
dugout.
They ran off way
there.
ahead of us, so we need a bit of catch up. So
Yeah,
you know, get a couple of people on the two up top and a couple of people up there, and we'll all be happy. We'll all just be better people, and that's what it's about. Mainz 0, Eintracht Frankfurt 2. Mainz, they are rubbish. Let's put it that way. I was gonna do more of a swear, but I'll try and keep language down on my channel. Don't know why. And when I come on yours, I'm like, F this, F that,
yeah. No, we encourage it, so it's fine.
Yeah, you encourage it. Yeah, we're here for the kids as well.
Yeah.
But kids, look away if you are Mainz fans, because they're not very good, and it's bad. They got a new manager there at Mainz now. Flo, can you tell me a little bit more about the new manager at Mainz, if you know much more?
Yeah, Bo Svensson is a former Mainz 05 player. So
yeah, he was there for a number of years, wasn't he? Played under Klopp.
Yeah, and he's liked by most people at Mainz. And he was always a solid defender in terms of Mainz 05. So. And he seemed to be very sympathetic that time and seems to be right now. And he was the coach of FC Liefering before, or until Mainz bought him out of his contract. Yeah, if you know, Liefering is the farm team from Red Bull Salzburg. So it's standing for an attractive way of playing football, developing young players. And this is what Mainz want to achieve. But I believe this could be too late for this season, because they played so badly until this match day, and they were only able to secure 6 points, and I don't think this will be sufficient. And I believe what Mainz needs could be a rebuild in the League 2, so second Bundesliga, and they, with no pressure, rebuilding the team and then promoting again, because Mainz lost the Mainz spirit. They had the spirit 15 years ago when they promoted under Jürgen Klopp, and the club was always a sympathetic club, a funny club with good atmosphere, no problems. So the world was okay at Mainz, so everyone was happy. But this got lost during the past 4 or 5 years, and they played against relegation a couple of times, and it got worse every time. At the moment, we are at the lowest point, so maybe have a huge turnaround in the summer, starting new in second league, and promote again.
So, like, what's brought this on for Mainz? Because they've never really been laden with stars as such, have they? You know, there's a couple of players that have been at Mainz in the past. You know, and I know that Tuchel was the manager there as well. But how did Mainz go from being that fun club and, you know, the harmless club, so to speak, to just being in such dire situations?
It's a little bit difficult, but I believe it started 4 years ago when Christian Heidel left the club. It was at a time when Mainz were really able to produce some good players. So they sold Abdou Jallow for 25 million. They sold Jabamar for 25 million, and they made some money. But the new manager, Schröder, he screwed it a little. He bought many foreign talents from France, from Spain, which is okay because they have great youth academies over there. But I believe the spirit in the dressing room, it changed. You have groups. You have like the French players, the Spanish players, the German players, or maybe the African originated players. I don't know. And it doesn't look like a team to me. Yeah. And this process increased during the last couple of years. And if you have many players who are not able to speak German or don't want to speak German and maybe not English, and you can't develop a team spirit, it's very hard or very difficult for a team like Mainz, which first aim is securing the league and then taking a look what's possible, maybe securing some, maybe developing some players, sell them with profit. but this doesn't seem to work out at the moment. Many of their players, they have lots of gears, but
no idea.
At the moment, they can't get it together. Have no idea on the pitch.
One guy who definitely doesn't have an idea is Niakate.
Oh my god!
Two of the stupidest penalties. We were talking about penalties earlier. I mean, I'm not sure if that's a penalty. It's a bit. This guy was just like, "I'm going to drag your shirt," and then I'm going to turn around and be like, "Oh, what?" It's like two of the most blatant fouls I've ever seen.
Is that right? The second one, when I watched it, but the second one I was watching, I was like, "That's not a foul. That's not a foul." And you look at it again, it's like, mate, come on!
He tried to pull the guy's arm off. It's like someone has to tell him. It's like, you do know they're using VAR, and they have been using VAR for a couple of years now. You can't do that. Like back in the day, you'd be able to do that because you're nowhere near the ball, and they're not going. You know, what I mean, the referee's probably not looking at you. But
of course,
VAR, come on.
Players are dumb as hell, man. Honestly, it makes me laugh. But the thing about this game, because obviously both goals came from the spot, and they were by my good friend Andre Silva. But Andre Silva showed the world why he is actually a really bad striker. Yeah. And do you see the header? He's about 2 yards out, and he's leapt beautifully. He's kept his eyes on the ball the whole time. He's got a really good connection and bangs it over the bar.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Dead guy. He is awful.
Yeah,
man,
I think that was a tough. I don't think that was an easy.
No,
it wasn't.
Yeah, in this game he was the Penandre Silva.
Yeah.
He's awful. Yeah, awful guy. But I believe it's time for this.
Wolfram's words of wisdom.
What
you got for us, Wolfman?
Yeah, I got a nice story because during the week, yesterday, we had, or today also, but yesterday we have a cup match. And the cup match was Leverkusen against Eintracht Frankfurt yesterday. I'm very happy that I sent you the picture for the words of wisdom before the match. So I can now say, okay, everything's good. Leverkusen won the game. And this guy is one of the most iconic managers as well in Leverkusen's history. And Leverkusen history as well as in Frankfurt's history. So his name is Dragoslav Stepanovic. I believe the name fits to the picture we're looking at.
Yeah. I thought it was Terry Tibbs, mate. When you said me, I was like, talk to me. Buy me, sell me, talk to me. Thank you very much. Good night.
I haven't seen him as a coach, but maybe he was similar to him. I don't know. Well, and Stepanovic was coach of Eintracht Frankfurt in their very successful time at the beginning of the 90s, where they had great players like the German world champions Uwe Bein and or Anthony Yeboah, for example. These players played among him.
King Tony Yeboah.
Yeah, they nearly became champions in 1992, I believe. So
was that when they got done on the last day of the season, when there was like 3 teams all going for it on the last day of the season?
Exactly. It was the last day of the season. Frankfurt could be champion, and Stuttgart, and I don't know who.
It was Frankfurt and Bayern, weren't it?
Could be. And Frankfurt missed it in Rostock, so they were huge favorites. They missed it. And Stuttgart was able to secure the championship in Leverkusen, actually. So there was at least one championship celebrated.
Stock Leverkusen are involved in final day drama where they don't win something.
Afterwards, when they lost the championship, Frankfurt, this coach just said with his Balkan accent, "Lebe geht weiter," what means life goes on, but in his very own accent, it became a cult sentence in Germany. So every time something bad happens, especially in football terms, you say, "Lebe geht weiter." 1 year later, he played the cup semi-final. It was the cup match. Frankfurt-Leverkusen has only happened one time before yesterday. And this was in 1993, semi-final of the cup. Leverkusen playing away at Frankfurt. Frankfurt was a huge favorite, and Leverkusen won 3-0 in Frankfurt away. Secured the first cup.
It was the semi-final or the final?
It was the semi-final, yeah.
Okay.
Leverkusen-
How did the final go?
Yeah, wait a minute. I'll tell you that. No, it's the point of my story. So, Stepanovic was fired from Frankfurt after the semi-final. And it was, I don't know, 1 or 2 weeks later, Leverkusen fired their own coach, Reinhard Safnik, and replaced him by Stepanovic. So the coach who lost the semi-final played with Bayer Leverkusen in the cup final. And they played it against Hertha Berlin's second team. It was, early in the early days, it was possible for second teams to play the regional cup and to qualify for the German cup via the regional cup, via winning the regional cup. So Hertha the second team did it. Hertha under 23, and they secured the way in the final, their spot in the final. The first team didn't make it. That's also the first team never made it to a cup final.
That's embarrassing, isn't it? That's embarrassing. The Resi's made it to the final, not the first team.
Yeah, and Leverkusen, it was a very tough game, but playing against the second side of the club, we managed to win the game in a very sovereign 1-0 win. Secured our only German cup in 1993. But the fun fact, that's always what people are asking him about, is that he lost the semi-final and still won the cup as a coach.
Oh my God! So that was this week's Words of Wisdom.
Wolfrum's Words of Wisdom.
And while we're on Leverkusen, why don't we find out what's going on, eh? Bayern Leverkusen 1, Werder Bremen 0. Everything was fine until the Bayern game just before Christmas, wasn't it, Flo?
Yeah, that's true. I hate the Lewandowski goal even more now because the team seemed to lost a little bit of their spirit, their idea, their self-confidence. Maybe they got it back yesterday in a 4-1 cup win, but this was
Schalke have won in the cup this season, so it doesn't count.
That's true.
Anything can happen this year. Who knows?
Yeah. Leverkusen lost a little bit of the creativity and the pace on the wing. So if you don't have that pace on the wings and that skills on the wings, or you can bring your horsepower on the streets on the wings, it becomes very difficult to play against teams like Bremen, who are just defending, who are standing around their own box with 10 men. Yeah, and then the set piece in the second half, in the beginning of the second half, was defended poorly by Bayer Leverkusen.
I know it's mad because I was watching a different game because there's just so much football that you have to catch up on at the same time, and I was watching a Premier League game at the time, and I flipped it over to this game just as the free kick was whipped in, and I saw that Toprak scored. I was like, "That's typical, isn't it?"
Yep.
Old player coming back to haunt you. It's just the way football, the football gods work, isn't it?
And Schick's goal. Unfortunately. Schick's goal was one of the luckiest things I've ever seen in my life.
Oh God, yeah.
Like
I'll tell you what, Schick's goal, the way it landed at Schick's feet was so Andre Silva. That's what it was to me. But I like Patrick Schick, so it's different. He can't really do much wrong in my eyes.
But yeah, that was. I don't know how you can give that as his goal.
No.
I don't know how that goes down as a Patrick. That's got to be an own goal, surely.
In my notes, I put Schick in speech marks.
Yeah.
I was like, Schick goal. Yes, of course it was. Yes,
I
and
believe
I'm
6'3". Wants to boost his self-confidence.
Yeah, maybe it might help him.
But that's. I mean, considering what happened with Bayern, that's an opportunity missed, isn't it? Really.
Well, if you call that an opportunity missed, well, this is even more of an opportunity missed. The only team that had a 100% record at home in the league this season, RB Leipzig, they lost 3-1 at home to Borussia Dortmund. The the goals came from a brace from Erling Haaland, who is back. Sancho scored a goal and assisted for Haaland. He actually scored the opener because it was 0-0 at half time, which is madness.
And Dortmund didn't have a shot on goal in the first half.
No, they didn't.
I would like to know what was said at half time, because they came out completely different side.
No, they did. But in the second half, that's the Dortmund that I like to see. That was so fluid, smooth, moving the ball around, all playing for each other. It wasn't just get the ball to Haaland, which has been the premise from week 1 to week 8 until he got injured, wasn't it? It was like, right, we'll do what we might pass it around nicely at the back, but we need to find our man, and that's Haaland. Whereas now, they've sort of got the whole vibe back, and it looks like original Dortmund again, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does. The goals were nice as well, but especially I think it's the first one, Sancho's goal, where Haaland put the ball across, and a nice little touch from Royce into Sancho's path. That was a genius touch. And then the Haaland goal, where he's beat 3 players in a little bit of nice, tidy footwork, which I didn't know he had. Another bow to his string.
Oh, he's got everything.
And it does look like a better Dortmund, but can they keep this up? This is the problem with Dortmund. They have these flashes, and then the next week they'll play against. I don't know who they're playing next week, but
we'll find out in a minute. We've got a couple of games left.
Yeah, and they just won't show up. So it's really frustrating. I've kind of given up with Dortmund in that regard, but I always think Dortmund look their best when they have Delaney and Witsel on the pitch. I really like Delaney. I have from before. Was he at Bremen before? I think it was at Bremen. Thomas Delaney. Even at Copenhagen, when I saw him a few times in the Champions League, I was like, this guy's a baller.
He's all right, yeah.
He's a good player. He's just an engine room in the midfield. He can do it all in there. I think him and Witzel's a great partnership. When they have those two in midfield, they look a much better side, in my opinion.
What does this mean for Flo for Leverkusen, for Leipzig? Because this is a massive opportunity missed here, and I know that Dortmund, they've had their issues already this season, but the 3 wins out of the 4 games that Turchi's been in control, so they are hitting a bit of form. But it's Leipzig.
Yeah, I mean you can lose against Dortmund anytime, because Dortmund is a team with so much potential. They can beat anyone sometimes, but it clarifies that maybe Leipzig is not ripe enough, or not mature enough. It's the same what we see every year. I mean, Bayern Munich is struggling at the moment, and it's been like this for 30 years, 25 years. I don't know. No one is able to collect the points, while Bayern Munich drops them. That's very frustrating for German football fans, because Bayern Munich, Karl-Heinz Rummenigge and Uli Hoeneß, they're sitting at home in their big house at Starnberger Lake and just laughing, eating some Weißwurst and some pretzels and having fun.
Smashing down some, but not Berliner. Don't want to be drinking Berliner if you're from. Well, it'd be Brinkhoffs, wouldn't it? A bit of Brinkhoffs.
Well, Dortmund drinks Brinkhoffs, and in Munich they drink Paulaner.
Oh, Paulaner, yes.
Yeah, Bayern Munich has this big sponsoring deal with Paulaner, where and since Frank Ribéry came, I don't know, it's not a thing in England. That you put beer on your teammates after you win a championship or something like that. That's what only
I'm not allowed to do that nowadays. It's it's not even that anymore. Sparkling water, isn't it?
Yeah.
Straight up sparkling water, a bottle of Harrogate.
Bayern Munich switched the beer with alcohol to alcohol-free beer because Frank Ribéry claimed that though he's a Muslim, he doesn't want to be to have beer on his head. So they now have alcohol-free Paulaner every day, every last match day on the pitch of the Allianz Arena, because they become champions every year.
That's why I don't want to play for Bayern.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want to play for Bayern. I want to have proper beer. You know what I mean? I ain't messing about with that alcohol-free stuff.
You should play to Leverkusen. We're not used to it, so we don't know that that there is the opportunity of alcohol-free beer.
I've got my shirt. I've already got my name and number on the back.
Oh, I love it.
I'm ready to go, pal. I'm ready to go.
I'll play right back as well, or left back in the dressing room if you need.
Hey. I'm at that same time. Augsburg, they're in trouble, man. Augsburg won, Stuttgart 4. Now, Stuttgart have picked up more points from away from home than anyone else in the Bundesliga. And it's obvious to see why, because they are so smooth when they play away from home. They're great on the counter. They have my boy in there, Nico Gonzalez, who I put in my team of the year sort of thing, like, well, no, my up and coming guy, didn't I? And then only a couple of weeks later, it's all over Twitter. You know, David Ornstein and, you know, what's his name? Fabrizio Romano. Oh, yeah, Nico Gonzalez. He might be on the move. He might be doing this bits and bobs. Yeah, I watch Bundesliga every week and I tell everyone about it. And when I say, oh, yeah, Nico Gonzalez is doing good, I get like 10 likes on Facebook and, you know, 1 retweet. And he goes, oh, Nico Gonzalez. And then you get all the Twitter fanboys going, yeah, I've been watching Nico Gonzalez for a few years now. Yeah, good player. Yeah, good player. You know, and then they all get all these hundreds of thousands of retweets and likes and that sort of stuff. Learn your source. Find your source. So I was done talking about him only a few weeks ago. I was done talking about him, saying how good he is and how much I've been watching him and all that sort of stuff. And it was vindicated by Flozif, wasn't it? Vindicated like on the
scoring chart,
the score chart, isn't it?
Grades.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like that, I'm not bitter, by the way. I just want more followers. So, well, Mangatuka bagged. We all love that. Didavi, he had a good game as well. He scored as well. But Marco Richter, I know you do. Marcus Richter, he got himself sent off. 2 stupid yellow cards.
Second one was ridiculous. Second one, absolute stupidity.
I know it sounds like a cliche, but if you're on a yellow card, don't give the referee a decision to make.
Yeah, and it wasn't really a decision to make. He kicked him. It's the most blatant booking I think I've ever seen. He knew as soon as he did it. It was actually just horrible.
Yellow card. The first yellow card was a mistake because he was like angry about the decision from the referee and throwing the ball away.
No, that's not a mistake. That's petulance. You should know better than that. You're a professional footballer.
Yeah.
But having known you'd done that, to then
do that
6 minutes later,
come
pick
on,
someone,
3 minutes later, 73 and 76.
Down. That's ridiculous.
Stupid stuff. West Ham fans, do you want to know where Reece Oxford is? Oh yeah, he's still at Augsburg and he's giving away penalties.
Yeah.
He has not stepped up. He was the man of the match. I remember it was like, oh, he's the new saviour.
16-year-old, man of the match against us, wasn't it?
It's us, yeah.
Yeah, and he looked a good player. Just hasn't worked out. He's been Augsburg, Mönchengladbach. Where else was he? He was I think this is his 3rd German club, is it not? If I'm not mistaken.
Nah, but he was second.
Wasn't he like Augsburg went away and come back or something?
Okay.
I swear it was Augsburg.
Maybe he's been at Augsburg twice. Maybe that's what it is.
But it's probably
not worked for him.
He's still up and coming. He's still only 17, so he's all right. What is he? He's got to be what? What was that? 15, 16 seasons. So he's got to be 22, 23, 21, 22. He might be okay. He might come good. But Stuttgart, they look really good from away from home. They're doing all right in the table as well. The Castro goal, it was a volley, lovely volley. Initially turned down. VAR decision overturned the decision, and it was good for them that it happened. But they're looking good, Stuttgart, and they could get that cheeky last spot in the old Europa League. Are you going to delete? Right, there you go. Right, so the final game that we're going to be talking about is Freiburg. Freiburg. It's mad that we've left some games with like high scores in, but it's not even to do with the actual teams that are involved. The performances, they weren't really the game involved in Stuttgart. That was quite good. That was quite an interesting game. It always is when Stuttgart are involved. But I didn't find any enjoyment from this game, despite there being 5 goals.
A bit floated.
Yeah. So. Demirovic, Höfler, Schalai, Leinhardt, and Höhler were the goal scorers in this game. The Freiburg 5, FC Köln 0. It weren't a great game to watch, and that's what I mean. It sounds weird, but it's a record for Freiburg. They have now won 5 straight Bundesliga games. It's the first time in their history that they have done that. So that is quite nice.
Team in the league.
Yeah,
Freiburg. And you know what? This game as well, Cologne gave them a 2-goal head start.
Oh my God.
2 really bad goals to give away. And then they just kind of gave up. I was like, well, we're 2 down. You know, second half to come out, I was like, we're so bad. And Freiburg were like, yeah, all right, we'll just put you to the sword. Have that one, have another one. And Freiburg wasn't involved in any of them, which is quite surprising.
Well, no, I think that's why I didn't enjoy the game.
Yeah.
Cologne was just resting too long on the pillow, which was made of Bielefeld, Schalke, and Mainz. You know, those 3 teams, they were behaving so poorly in the last weeks, and no one expects them to secure points. And Cologne said, okay, everything's all right. So we are 4 points clear of the relegation spot. What happened? Take a look. Now they're in the playoff spot, and I like that view.
Why don't we take a look and see what the bottom of that table says? Because this is a madness now, isn't it? At the bottom of the Bundesliga table is Mainz with 6 points, and they'll be kicking themselves massively after being 2-0 up against Bayern Munich on game day 14. Schalke, they are off the bottom of the table. They are still not yet to hit double figures, but they have got a victory, and they have now got 3 points from a possible 3, which is giant for them. So Cologne, they now sit in the playoff relegation zone on 16 point in 16th place on 11 points. Bielefeld, they hop out of that position on 13 points. Hoffenheim, after suffering an embarrassing defeat by Schalke, dropped to 14th and level on points with Werder Bremen, who was so good at the beginning of the season, lol. Hertha Berlin, Augsburg, and Stuttgart complete the top 9, bottom 9 even. The top 9 are Frankfurt. They've fallen. They've now been overtaken by Freiburg, who are in 8th place, 23 points from 15 games. As we just alluded to, the most informed side in the Bundesliga, 5 wins on the spin. That's 15 points they've picked up, which is crazy stuff. Because look where they were only a few weeks ago, and no one's talking about them. And now
maybe that could be Schalke.
That could be Schalke, you know. Okay. But they are now a mere, after that mad run of 5 games, they are just 5 points off a current Champions League spot. Mönchengladbach, they're in 7th place despite their 3-2 victory over Bayern Munich. Wolfsburg and their draw against Union Berlin keeps both teams in the same spot, 5th and 6th, both on 25 points. Dortmund, I just mentioned, on 28th place and 28 points, occupying the 4th spot for the Champions League. Bayer Leverkusen, another draw, another fail to win situation. They're in 3rd. Leipzig, they had the opportunity to go to the top of the league, and they would have gone top of the league by the end of game day 15 had they beaten Borussia Dortmund. But it is Bayern Munich who are top, however, losing their game on Friday night against Mönchengladbach, and they are on 33 points, 2 points clear ahead of Leipzig. Right, here's some fixtures for you. Friday night, big game. There's always a big game in the Bundesliga anyway, but this has so many connotations because this Union Berlin could do some movements here. And they are at home to Bayer Leverkusen. Giant game, giant fixture. And then Saturday's games look like this. So we've got the 2:30 games over here. Go on, Mainz, did you say?
Poor Mainz.
Come on. Oh, poor Mainz, yeah. You don't want to be playing Dortmund when they're in this mood. Borussia Dortmund are at home to Mainz, and that is the live game on BT Sport. Oh, I sound like I'm on BT Sport. I don't work for BT Sport. I would like to. Can I have a job on BT Sport, please? Hoffenheim are at home to Arminia Bielefeld. Wolfsburg host Leipzig. That's a nice game. Cologne, they're at home to Hertha Berlin, and Werder Bremen, they have Augsburg, 6-pointer. Now, the 5:30 game on Saturday is Stuttgart versus Mönchengladbach, and that's interesting because Stuttgart predominantly better away from home but Borussia Mönchengladbach still missing a few key players. On Sunday, we have 2 games, one at 2:30, one at 5 o'clock. These are UK times that I'm telling everybody right now. So if you need to check your schedule for your local spot, if you're not in the UK, Bayern Munich, they host in form Freiburg. I was just going to introduce them as Freiburg. No, in form Freiburg. So Freiburg, they know what they need to do. Let Bayern score first. And that makes things happen. And then Frankfurt are at home against what you could say informed Schalke. They said, like, you know, one from one. Start your season now, boys. That's what I say. So it's a big games this week. There's been loads of comments that you know, just wanted to get the show flowing, and I felt it did. So I'm going to go back and go through some of these comments. Lewandowski. Damn right. Stat padder. The Lewandowski, the stat padder. That's what we talk about. Before, in fact, we go on to that. Yeah, he's now got 20 goals in 15 Bundesliga games. He only needs 21 goals to become the all-time record goal scorer in one full season. And I think it will happen because he's got. How often does he get injured?
Well, never say never.
I know, but you know what those Eastern Europeans are like? They're big Eastern European. They're strong and hard. They don't get injured. They don't care. It's like, broken leg. I don't care. I play. You know, so they couldn't give 2 hoots. Klaus, he does the. That was right though, wasn't it? That was right.
Yeah, that was a great accent.
I do accents. I'm not out there, you know, all lives matter and that sort of stuff. So Klaus, he does the animation and stuff for you guys, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
he does.
Yeah,
Man like Klaus. He's a Bayern fan, giant Bayern fan.
Is he German?
I don't
Because
think
Klaus
so.
is like
He did say.
I think he's
Albanian.
Hungarian.
He's half Albanian, half German, I think. But Klaus, tell us in the comments, man.
Klaus, if you're still watching, let us know. If not, I'll tweet you. If you're not Hungarian, if you're not Hungarian, I do apologise. You know, it's not one of those situations of, you know, right. So, yeah, he's saying about the Bayern. I was going to say defense. You know, getting involved in the NFL ready. But the Bayern defense is horrible, and yeah, Schuler is just too damn slow. And oh my god, Boateng runs like your dad. That's an inside joke. I'll tell everyone about that another time. Yeah, the Bayern, YNOT Sentinel FC. He comments a lot and he gets involved on both our channels. I love that. You know, like when you find someone who's like a proper supporter of what you're doing and you're trying to make it forward and that. I like this guy. Do you know what team do you support? I'll send you a shirt. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a shirt to a top shirt. Have you got any shirts made? Any?
No, we
don't.
No,
I'm not saying an Arsenal shirt. I'll just ask what team he supports anyway. Do you know what I mean? But I'm going to send him to a top t-shirt. You know, like, you know, representing that. But yeah, they're going shaky. Yes, they are shaky because they don't know really. They are to be got at. But other teams just love floundering around.
I just think they believe wholeheartedly that they'll score more goals than you. So it doesn't matter if we concede a couple. I think they're just a bit arrogant in that way, you know.
Definitely. Schalke won their Champions League. Damn right. Honestly, that result to them is bigger than Man United win the treble. Bigger than Arsenal going the season unbeaten. Bigger than Man City's 100 points, and bigger than Liverpool as a club, as a whole, frankly. So, you know, go Viva la Schalke. Mainz needs to sack Klopp. Go on, Ed. Ed's part of the top fraternity. He's obviously having a bit of banter on that one. He loves it. And what we got here? Did I see one interesting? Oh yes, Tim and Werner, shy habits. Chelsea scored in the cup. Definitely doesn't count. I think that was when we were talking about your cup celebrations for Leverkusen and Schalke winning in the cup. It don't count. It doesn't mean anything.
It counts when you win it.
Shai Harvard, I like that name. English media great. You English UK football fans, such a great name. I love it.
Oh, lovely stuff.
Shai Harvard,
Shai
unbelievable.
Havertz and timid Werner. Bloody hell. Anyway, you can subscribe to all of our stuff and like all of our stuff. For I don't know about you guys, Devo, and they sent a dig towards you lot, but if you put two at the top of Google, our name comes at first, which is really cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
I don't think I was.
need to start putting football dugout into stuff to make yours come up first as well. So that's what we want. But make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube, to our YouTube videos and stuff on both Two Up Top Football and TFB Dugout, because we both have our own things, but we both work together to try and make dreams work. And that's all. And me and Devo both got kids that are already a day apart. And if we do subscribe and we get to a certain amount, then it allows us to buy nappies and things like that for our children. So it's really important that you make sure you like, share, and subscribe our stuff. But with Flo, just follow on Instagram. He'll be more than happy with that. Send your _Lobor on. And once again, did you know if you put two at the top of Google, our name comes up first? Yes, it does. So from myself, Gav Mack, from Devo London, from Flo Wolfrum, thank you and good night.